Let's take a look at the national outcomes for A-Level and AS from summer 2018. And if you want more detail on some of the things that I'm going to talk about, there'll be a link in the top right-hand corner of the screen that you can click through to watch an in-depth video on that topic. Now, this was the first year for 12 new reformed A-Levels, in addition to the ones that were introduced last year. And what we've seen in those new qualifications is that outcomes have generally been very, very stable compared to last year. Now, that's exactly what we'd expect to see because of the comparable outcomes approach that we take to awarding. And that makes sure that students aren't disadvantaged just because they've been the first cohort to sit these new reformed qualifications. Now, we have seen a few variations in what those outcomes look like across all subjects. So A star on average is down a touch, but A and A star combined is very stable compared to last year. And we think that's likely just to reflect a few changes in the subject mix and some students perhaps entering for subjects that they find a little bit more challenging. In terms of variability in results at a centre level, we look at the swings in results year on year within each given school and college to get a sense of how well they've adapted to the reforms. And really encouragingly, what we've seen this year is very similar levels of centre variability to what we saw last year. So that means that in general, we've seen quite a consistent level of changes in any given school and college's results. And that suggests to us that most schools and colleges have adapted really well to the reforms and haven't seen big swings in their results as they've moved over to the new qualifications. If we look at AS level, the big news here is really the significant drop in AS entries. So AS entries have actually dropped this year by almost 60%, and that's on top of a 42% drop last year. So in total, we've seen AS entries down to around 260,000, from 635,000 last year and 1.3 million 3 years ago. So a very big decrease in AS as we've moved over to the linear qualifications and the decoupled AS level. Now, that significant drop in entries means that it is very difficult to compare results year on year because we're starting to see significantly different cohorts taking those qualifications and significantly different entry patterns. So I would just urge caution if you look at the raw results year to year within an AS level because they are telling you slightly different things. Finally, let's take a look at subject choices. And although we have seen some changes to subject popularity, actually the top 10 most popular A-levels have stayed consistent for the third consecutive year. Maths remains the most popular A-level, and we've seen entries go up in maths along with sciences, computer science, business, politics, economics, psychology. On the flip side, we've seen entries go down in geography, religious studies, languages, design and technology, and also in English, where entries have dropped across all 3 English qualifications, but actually by well over 10% in English language and language and literature. But overall, as I say, for A-level, a really encouraging, stable picture. The reformed A-levels of this year have been introduced smoothly, and we've seen those outcomes looking really consistent with last year.